So, happy Canada Day, everyone, from You Asked For It at Jess FM. We are always so excited to be here on a Monday. Austin is away, so I got some special guests for you. We're going to share that in one sec. I'm just making share. We are always so excited to be here on a Monday. So how can I share? Austin is away, so we got some special guests for you. We're going to share that in one sec. I'm just making share. All right, I am shared. I'm going to turn that off. All right. We are just getting all of our social media shared. We're here in the Jess FM studios and Jess TV if you're watching us or listening. It is, for all our listeners who are not from Canada, it is Canada Day.
Yes, Happy Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day.
With the acknowledgement that we are on Indigenous land that was never seceded. And Métis, 3 region for us here in Lethbridge.
Okay, I like that. And I know, yeah, we're having some interesting discussions today about Canada, actually. Yeah, we'll get into that.
Touch that later, right?
Yeah. Okay, we're all shared here. So today in Lethbridge is Canada Day. Our festivities are going. We have the fireworks tonight at Henderson. We know there's a big party there. The weather looks a little shaky, Lethbridge, so good luck with that. I don't know.
It's already been rained out on the East Coast, from my understanding, where my one sister is, and up in Red Deer as well. So
really?
Maybe ours will continue, but I saw some lightning as I was driving over here. So
oh, wow.
Let's hope that we still have a couple of hours away. So.
Well, we have some big topics for you today. We're going to be talking about the Raymond Parade. They have a huge celebration out in Raymond, Alberta. The town goes from, I hear, anywhere from 4,000 up to over 10,000 people. It's really an explosion out there. And we're going to be talking about that. And we're going to talk about Canada being voted number 1 country. But I'll get the exact details from Chris here. I want to introduce my co-host tonight. I've got Chris Rowley. Hi, Chris.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. It's Chris's first time on the show, and Chris is a large supporter of Lethbridge Pride Fest and for a lot of things.
Yes.
Yeah, but been a volunteer for a few years, and it's been great. And we have the fabulous drag monarch. Say hello, Kilowatt.
Hello, everyone.
You've been on Jess FM before.
Not as Kilowatt.
Oh, okay. Just as Stephanie.
Just as Stephanie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, her Kilowatt's debut.
Yes.
So before we get into all the fun, I have a little bit of housekeeping for my regular listeners. Austin's not here tonight. He's in White Court. He's driving home safely now. But last week's episode was a more emotional and heavy episode dealing with the passing of our friend Kyle Holberton. So I just want to give an update on that, and I'm a little bit more in control today, so thank you for that. But I want you all to know that the Holberton family really appreciates the huge outpouring of support and love, and it really does kind of help heal and help with the grieving process when you see a lot of people care about your loved one, and they just want me to give a personal message. Thank you so much for all the support. And we have organized a celebration of life for Kyle Holberton this Saturday. I believe that is July 6th.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. July 6th, and that is at Brick and Mortar? Brick and Mortar. It's at Brick and Mortar this Saturday, 6 o'clock till 9 o'clock. There is a dress code, and it is dress like you're going out with Kyle. So whatever that means to you, maybe you camped with Kyle, maybe you drywalled with Kyle, but just dress like you're going to go and see Kyle, hang out with Kyle. We are going to have some foods that Kyle would love. We're going to have some drinks, and we're going to have a program and stories for you of Kyle. So we're excited about that. It's at and everyone is invited. And again, just to please acknowledge, we're not looking for any. The family's not looking for any flowers. So no flowers. If you feel like you want to do something for the Holberton family, there's a GoFundMe page in Kyle's name that will help with the expenses of the funeral and costs and memorial, because you know what, young people, we don't think about death, and we don't really think about the costs that are involved in that. So it's really given me an inspiration for.
I actually have my will.
Do you? You have your will ready?
Yeah, my will's all done.
Okay, so I've talked.
Talk about that after.
Well, I've talked about on the show before about redoing my will, and I had redone that on a previous episode, and I think it's a good topic. So I think we're going to talk about planning what happens
Very
after.
important.
So, so anyway, I want everyone to know Celebration Life this Saturday. We'd love to see you there. Don't worry, we're going to try not to make it too heavy. It'll be heavy moments, but we really want to celebrate Kyle. So please come and share your stories and information and just be together in Kyle's memory. Thank you for that. Okay, I've got a will,
Yes.
and it's a weird thing to go through. You have a will.
I have a
What
will.
made you go through that process?
Well, it was actually after my grandma passed away, and
Mhm.
that's almost, I think, like 10 years ago now.
Okay.
But her will hadn't been updated in many years, so our youngest cousin actually hadn't been included in it. And it just made us all realize how many details and stuff we really need to be aware of, and how much pressure that puts onto the people who are left behind when someone passes away. So for Christmas, when we were all home,
Oh, no.
we sat around the kitchen table, and it was actually a great family bonding time. And we wrote our wills together and witnessed each other. And like my family,
So you
come from
pre-got
a
will
family of
kits?
6.
You pre-got will kits
Yeah.
for Christmas?
Yeah, and I know there's, well, it wasn't our Christmas thing, but that's what we did. I think my parents got it through AMA because we have family AMA memberships.
Okay.
I know you can get them through H&R Block. There's a couple of different ones, and you just write them and you fill out like what you want done when you pass away for your memorial or funeral or and stuff like that. You put into it whether you want to
Celebration of
be
life.
organ donor, because if you haven't put it on your driver's license and stuff like that, it just puts it into the will as well. And then also just like a whole bunch of different things. Like for me, I have my dog Sherlock, and who would take care of him if something was to happen to me. And then I have property and stuff like that. So it's just stuff that you should always kind of have an update on a regular basis.
It is a heavy and kind of morbid topic, doing your will, but it is very important. I think it's going to be something we're going to tackle in a whole new episode of Jess FM, and if you asked for it. And maybe Steph will have to come back on that episode, and maybe we'll have to have Austin fill out his will live on air so you all know what the process is and what that looks like, and we can talk about different scenarios that you might not be thinking about. So, I
there's several other topics with that.
Totally.
Too, right?
It's not just it's not like the movies.
No.
So, anyway, with that's an interesting topic for a future episode.
Yeah,
I think that'd be good. Let's get
there you
Austin
go.
AMA will. I have the AMA club card,
Yeah.
so I'll go get him one, and
There's
maybe we
one
can
of those,
go through some of the ideas that are on there. Jesse, the owner of our show, is in the studio with us tonight. He's getting our technicals all right, so thank you, Jesse.
Yeah.
Jesse, can I ask you a personal question? Do you have a will? You do? Good for you.
Hey, that's not bad.
I remember
You're on a roll.
I remember Jesse when we were talking about the wills. He liked that topic when we talked about it. So, we'll make a whole episode about that. But let's talk about Canada Day and what we did this morning.
Yes.
So last year, Catwalk decided to go in the Raymond Parade, and I wanted to do that because that's my hometown, and I just wanted to add a little flair, a little bit of fabulousness. There already is a lot. But also appreciate all of the clientele that we have out in Raymond and just spread that joy. So last year we walked through the Raymond Parade, which I realized was really long, so I warned people to please wear sneakers because I had huge blisters last year.
Always the sneakers.
Yes, it's a good idea. And so last year I had pride buttons left over with the cat on it and rainbow flags, so I purposely was passing out all these pride buttons with Catwalk on it to the crowd, and I got such a great response. And Chris had actually mentioned to me, I think 2 or 3 years ago, that we should do Pride in Raymond, and I've thought that's a great idea because it's going back to the roots, and it's your hometown as well, right?
Yeah.
So we really thought that was a good idea. We kept discussing that, and don't worry, we got more planned for you, Raymond. But this year we're like, let's go in the parade as Lethbridge Pride Fest. So the Lethbridge Pride Fest board was generous to give us $100 worth of candy, but when you realize how how many people are there? $100. You got to spread it out. You can't just like chuck it all at the beginning. We had to be a little
Pace it.
Yeah, pace the candy, and we learned. So this year, Lethbridge Pride Fest was in the Raymond Parade. It's just something we just never thought would see happen there. Did you think that?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't think that would happen.
So just so people kind of understand, we actually thought we were going to have Catwalk have their own float and Pride Fest have their own float, but because this is kind of a spontaneous thing, but we wanted to get done this year, why wait another year?
Yeah,
Do it while we can. We didn't get quite as many people, so we just kind of mashed it all into one big party. And it was awesome. We danced to Daft Punk, we danced to RuPaul, we danced to I'm too sexy for my shirt. Right said Fred.
Multiple
times. I think you did a little drag monarchy to that.
Yes. Gotta do the lip sync.
Yeah, and that's actually how we named Catwalk, is that song, and it's just such a fun party song. I'm too sexy if you're not sure of it. So, what did you, Chris? It's your hometown. How did you feel about the response?
Good. I was really happy with the response from
Yeah.
people. So
Like in the crowd?
yeah.
Had you walked in the Raymond Parade before?
Yes, I've been in it before.
Okay. Had you been in that parade before?
No, I've only ever heard about the Raymond Parade, and that I know it's like one of the few parades you can still toss candy at.
Yeah.
So I was pretty excited about that.
People get really excited when you throw them candy. They're like, yeah! And I don't even think it's about the candy. I think it's just this weird interaction.
It's the interaction, because otherwise you're just sitting on the sidelines and you're like, hey, it's nice waving to people, but it's not as interactive, and you don't get to really have that chance to do one-on-one. Like, I had this like really cute occurrence happened when I gave a candy to a little girl. She was like, I thought you were a girl. And I was like, well, I'm kind of like both. And then she's like, huh. So it's a good way to like get that little bit of education out there in a fun way and interact with people and kind of expand people's minds.
We were talking about can Pride and these kind of things be educational, and it's definitely educational because kids wanted these rainbow flags, and some of them knew what it was. I'd hear Pride flag, I'd hear rainbow flag, and I'd hear people even yell Happy Pride.
Yeah.
You know, I also heard you screaming my name to my clients and friends and family out there. Thank you. I was like, wow. But it's like you would hear Pride or Rainbow, and you know. But do you guys notice that some of those streets are so narrow? You're really close to the people.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden you're like eye to eye, like hi. It's like very like, you know, there's not like a screen in front
There's
of you.
no personal space.
Yeah,
anymore.
it's like
Yeah.
hi, happy Canada Day.
Yeah.
It was really good. Our friend Sabra showed up on her motorbike.
Yes.
That was
It
excellent.
was great having her out there as well. And there was all your lovely people from
Catwalk.
Catwalk too, and did
Um,
some great driving. And,
Yeah, Stacy brought her son to walk with us and throw out our swag, so that was really great.
And that flag, carrying that 50-foot flag,
Oh my
pride
gosh.
flag, man, that
We-
was.
I'm actually glad. I'm actually glad that we didn't. Well, if we had had a ton of people, it'd been easy. But we actually attached the flag to the back of my car, tied it on. It actually at least kept it up, right?
Yeah.
Actually, on hindsight, otherwise carrying it for that long. Were you shocked how long the parade was?
Yes and no.
Right.
I mean, I've been in like Red Deers
Okay.
and like whoop up days and stuff like that, right? So it's like it was about the same length.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to try and carry a flag above your shoulders for that long, that is like more than a CrossFit workout. Like,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So it was actually kind of nice. It came off the car, and we only had to like, you know, and it was still
and
tricky.
then Lacey had the amazing idea of rolling it up a bit, and then you could hold it at waist level and still keep it off the ground.
It was better. That was better.
It was good.
We'll definitely get this figured out for next year. So next year, if you want to be in the Raymond Parade, Lethbridge Pride Fest will definitely be there again. Catwalk will be there again. You can talk about it. We have a whole year to decide, but please come and join us on Church Ave.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Church Ave.
I've
That was
never
good.
been to Church Ave. I've been to the emergency, and that was it. So I knew how to get there.
You went to the emergency room in Raymond?
Oh yeah, it's always faster. FYI, if
Yeah,
the Lethbridge
yeah.
Parade is
Ooh,
long,
dude.
just drive out to Raymond.
But don't tell everyone.
It's
You might not be
No,
as
everyone
fast.
knows
Everyone
this
knows.
Oh,
already.
everyone knows
Everyone
this.
knows it.
Well, and if they
Nurses
don't,
were
they should.
spreading that news
Yeah.
that worked out in Raymond.
It's
true.
So,
Because, I mean, they can be pretty dead out there, and that's not fun working a 12 or longer hour shift and not having anyone.
Oh, so you think it's actually helpful to the nurses because they're busier?
Yeah.
I guess. I don't want to be sitting at
You
work
don't want to
bored.
over busy, but, you know.
Yeah, it's better to be busy.
Yeah.
So here we are dancing, we are celebrating. Our new friend Eva joined in halfway, put on some wings and danced us to the finish line.
I love Eva. She's in for anything. It's great.
She's a cool lady.
Yeah.
So Stephanie went in as a drag monarch, so that's a nice little
Yeah.
representation. That's
Yeah.
a first for Raymond, I think. I don't want to
Probably.
like.
I mean, wasn't a lot of monarchs in Lethbridge
Yes.
before, so.
So again, just to tell us what a drag monarch is.
Yeah,
Do you mind?
so I'm a drag monarch. The name is Kilowatt, and I started out as a drag king, which is representing more of masculine image, and then I felt that was too limiting, and I learned about drag monarchs from James up with Troop Moustache from Calgary, and I felt that was more of a fit because it allows me to gender bend and get rid of the binary and just kind of be able to do the performances and the activities in a mixture of ways and it's like unlimited. It's great. So.
Steph introduced me to the term drag monarch, so it's just taking away the king or queen gender pronoun.
Yeah.
Right? I really like it, actually.
I think it's starting to gain more traction too. There's a couple of other drag performers considering moving into it because they're feeling kind of limited by the binary as well. So it's really awesome to have that non-binary option.
And to be honest, like I've done a performance as Prince, so that's kind of drag kinging, or
Yes,
you know.
yeah.
And then Austin did Boy George.
Yes.
So I think it does kind of make it a little less limiting. So maybe I'm a drag monarch.
Yeah, maybe that's up for Chrissy to move into.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
I was actually telling Chris today. I was like, I actually represented. I decided I was bisexual. I can have attraction to male and female, but now because of a GSA, I realize I'm non-binary. So now I am not non-binary. I'm sorry, I'm pansexual.
Pansexual.
So I was like, okay, I'm actually not bisexual. I'm pansexual. So we're always learning and evolving, right?
Well, and it's great. Like everyone's like you sometimes hear all these complaints about, oh, there seems to always be new words and stuff, and I'm like, that's not a bad thing. That's a great thing. It means
Yeah.
our language is evolving to be able to accept everyone and. Like, it's not so much about labeling as it is to have terms to express who you are so that you can explain it to yourself as well as others, so, which is great.
One of the most important things to me in Pride Fest and volunteering and getting involved and doing the parade is giving visibility to people who maybe don't feel represented. And so I think it's always just really important to, like, you know, give that visual. And I just hope that today when we're in the Raymond Parade, those kids and families, they are adults, they saw us having fun, and we take away some of that fear or, I don't know, like just unknown if they're, you know, not sure. Like, I'd just be like, oh, that was really fun, or I like, you know, start some dialogue. Mom, why do I have this button with the pride flag on it?
Yeah.
What does that mean, you know?
Yeah. So it's great to start those conversations and
give visibility.
Yeah, and I mean, like, even though there's a lot of things that we need to fix still, we've come a long way in quite a short time when you look at human history and stuff. So
50 years this year.
Right, and I mean, we had been ahead of it before. I mean, the indigenous groups had two-spirited and up to 5 different genders and some of them already, and then that kind of got wiped away. And so it's not like this is all new or anything like that, but it's great that it's coming back and we're seeing people to be able to find those terms again and find who they are and stuff, that we're not just kind of hidden again. So.
Did you have a statement on that?
No, I think I'm good.
You're good? Okay.
It's a learning process with these terms, though, because it's so new to me. And so part of that is that learning the terms and understanding where I might fit in with them is an evolution, a process that it's not just clear and cut.
I think as long as we're always willing to, like, learn and you know, and just not, I don't know, sometimes we put ourselves in boxes, you know?
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, let's just push that box out a little bit.
Yeah, it's all about the self-growth.
Yeah. I think we did a really good job out in Raymond today.
Yes.
And it was like 28 degrees. I didn't actually
Oh,
look.
so
Was it
hot.
28 degrees? Did we hear that rumor?
Yes, I
I
heard
think
that
it was.
rumor.
It was frickin' hot out
It
there.
was probably hotter on the asphalt.
Oh my god! Because when you're walking through that, there was a moment where I thought, "Oh, Sabra's not gonna make it," and then there was a moment where I'm like, "Lacey's not gonna make it."
Yeah.
And Greg's in there at the air conditioning, just like locking, listening to the music and chucking beer cozies out to people out the window.
Oh, he was having a great time.
Oh, yeah. it
Next
was
year
a
we
good
should
time.
just get a flatbed and decorate it.
Yeah.
I can drive it. I
Okay.
have a class 3.
Okay, just saying.
Just
So
saying.
maybe next year, Lethbridge Pride Fest will have a flatbed, and then you'll really want to join us. I know my mom tried to walk it a little bit. She's like, nope,
She couldn't keep up,
I'm out.
unfortunately.
Yeah. But we were happy to have Joanne show us her love out there, and it was shocking. People were like, they watch you go by, and then they're like, I should get a picture of that, and then they're like trying to get a picture.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
like,
and there was a couple of times where people would call you over and ask, and like start having a conversation, and which is great. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, now I have to run like up like 4 floats, and it was good that I had my dog Sherlock with me, and he just kind of pulled me along.
how do you think Sherlock did in the parade today?
Oh, he did awesome, and it was so great because a lot of kids just wanted to pet him, and he just loves that.
Aw.
So it's another great way to interact, and yeah.
I thought it was so cute. We were done after the parade, and I saw Lacey just flat out on that lawn. Sherlock was having a big drink of water, and a little girl, all she cared about was like, Mom, I want to pet the dog. Can I pet the dog? And it's just so cute. Animals can really speak to people, so that was nice.
Yeah, so it's another opening.
Another opening there. And so, yeah, I was going to say hot. Did they make it? It was just funny because sometimes people would like be trying to take a photo and but they're almost shy. And I'm like, no, here, take a photo, please. I'm going to be as extra as I can. I want to be fabulous out here. This one little boy came up to me and he goes, what, are you Aquaman? And I said, well, I'm his friend, me and Aquaman are like this, Me and Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Atlanteans, Amazons.
Right.
They're all
All
my
of
friends.
them. All of them.
So the day was so crazy. It started at 7:30, getting the car ready. I packed most of it, but I had to get the speaker.
Yeah.
And we drive out to Raymond, and all of a sudden, there's so many cars there, you can't actually meet up properly. You have to be like, where are you? Walk here. And then we were just like in the middle of heat, just trying to decorate that thing. And then it's like, go. And then I had a family
Oh,
reunion.
and then I had to find a bathroom.
I know.
Because there was no bathroom nearby. So I just want to do a huge shout out to Tabletop Adventures. Thank you for letting me use your washroom.
Hang on, what do you mean Tabletop Adventures?
In the Raymond, there's
There's a store?
little gaming store called Tabletop Adventures that I just happened to wander into because it was the first unlocked door.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like it's kind of like a version of Kapow here in Lethbridge, But yeah, they were really awesome and accommodating, and so if you're out there, check them out. They were amazing.
Oh, that's a fun place to stumble upon. That's in our
Right?
that's our language. We like all things
we're the
nerd.
geeks
We're
and
the
nerds,
geeks.
yeah.
So that's good for us.
I'm like, I have another place to go to Raymond now.
There you
Other than
go.
the emergency.
Other than emergency. So
Exactly.
like literally until the minute before we ran over here, Chris was helping me unload all of the stuff back into out of my car into the basement. And not only that, but we put away the Pride letters because
Oh, yeah.
Pride is officially over.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Pride is over. And
For Lethbridge.
for
anyway.
Lethbridge, yeah. It was New York's Pride today, I think.
Yeah, and then we still have Fort Macleod's coming up here and Calgary's.
Yeah,
and-
Calgary not till
yeah.
September. But I was gonna say, I thought that I would have time today to go home, freshen up, get changed.
No, you're just going to be in all your fabulous.
Yeah, so I love that we're in our parade gear. We are officially, this is the after party of the Raymond Pride Parade or Canada Day Parade, and yeah, so I like that we're in our gear. But you took your face off and had to redo
I
it.
did. I actually got a break in between. So I went home, got Sherlock all watered and fed up, and then had a nap, maybe.
Yeah.
Had to wipe off the beard. I mean, cut off. What is it? Shave off the
Shave
beard?
off the beard? Or shave off the beard.
Shave off the beard. And then, and then put it back on before I came out again. I didn't want it to burn into my face when I was walking out.
Oh, a tan line of the goatee.
Yes,
That
and I
would-
needed to check out, and luckily I remembered to put sunscreen on before Raymond
Ah.
Pride.
Right, good.
So, parade, I guess.
yeah,
Sorry,
I
keep
know.
calling it
Raymond Pride.
now.
I know. It's Raymond Pride. No,
Yeah.
I felt like I said that a few times. I'm like, Happy Pride. And I'm like, Happy Canada Day.
Yeah.
So, both.
We actually can celebrate Pride out in the open in Canada. And
Totally.
Some people
Totally.
in other countries. So.
Of course.
Right.
So we're just going to, so anyway, great job. Thanks for having us, Raymond, right? That was fabulous.
Yes.
We had a good time.
Yeah, they were very welcoming.
Yeah. Next year, even louder tunes. We figured out the music halfway through and had a lot more bumping. Are we getting comments?
Also, Medicine Hat Pride is in September as well.
Ah,
So,
thank you for that, by the
thanks.
way. Who's that?
That's your mom.
Oh, that's my mom. So anyway, I'm going to just talk a little bit about traditions in Raymond and why this is such a big blow. I don't really know, but Chris can probably relate with me. For some reason, people flow to Raymond 1st of July. And like you said, it's one of the few parades where you can actually throw candy and gifts and treats. But for me, it's a family reunion every year. So out of the 41 years that I am, I've only actually missed my family reunion one time. So I've been out there every year for 40 years, and that feels very special. And now to go there and represent my business Catwalk and also represent Pride Fest is just, it's really, really cool to bring that back home. And so I want to tell you a little bit about the stuff that happens for me after the parade. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So we
I
have
wanna hear about
we
it.
have a reunion and it's over 100 people every year because I have a large family, and we have to put on a talent show. So if you've ever wondered why I am so extra and just ready to be an extrovert, because from a young age we were forced to put on a talent show.
Did they pay you at least?
No, in candy, we do a candy throw
Oh,
after.
okay.
So if you didn't get enough candy at the parade, we would do a candy throw. My grandma runs with a bucket of candy and she throws it in the air, and you chase after her and you pick up as much candy as you can. But that was after you did the program. So you're right. I never realized that we were being paid in. My friend Eva would like this. What do they call it? Modified corn syrup?
Modified corn syrup.
They're actually awarding the kids in modified corn syrup, which is not a good thing. Inflammation, dumb down the brain. Anyway, no, I won't get into that. But at we have a huge meal. We have all the cousins and aunts and uncles and the extended family. We invite everyone in, and we did it at my Aunt Margie's this year. And I want to just say thanks for hosting Aunt Margie and Aunt Barbara. The food was amazing as usual. My second favorite cousin, Heidi Hicken, was there today.
Ooh, second favorite.
Second favorite. She loves when I say that. Who's your first? I'm like, doesn't matter.
All of them are your second favorite.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I always like just to harass her. I was so happy to see my cousin Heidi. So yeah, we just had this big family reunion. It's good to see everyone you come together. A lot of my family is LDS, and I just want to acknowledge that Raymond is known as a LDS community. Not that everyone there is, but it's a large part, and a lot of them have family reunions on 1st of July, and this seems to be a trend in Cardston, Glenwood, a lot of these.
Probably because of the awesome parade.
Yeah, that's right, the awesome
Yeah.
parade, and everyone's like, sugar, more sugar, must get free candy.
The poor parents and the kids being all hyper.
Well, yeah, and plus, I don't know how you guys are feeling, but the sun, so you feel like, Chris, I was like, before we got to the show, I'm like, have a drink, not of alcohol, of water or juice, get something in you, because we are working hard. So after my family reunion, I went and checked out my cousin Penny's new house, and Penny, her house isn't her house gorgeous?
It's gorgeous.
It was really.
I was checking it out before, like when I was in Raymond for other things.
Oh, you'd actually noticed it being built.
Yes, yes.
They only moved in 2 days ago, so congratulations, Penny
It's
and
beautiful.
Jessica and their family get with their new home, and it's really cool. So yeah, you got to go inside.
Yes.
It was cool.
It was awesome.
And I also heard Raymond's going to potentially be the first Canadian city to be carbon net neutral.
What does that mean?
It means that they'll be completely off-grid and they won't be putting out more carbon into the atmosphere, so they're actually helping with the climate change issue.
Yeah.
Raymond, Alberta.
Go Raymond, right?
Here's another fact the world might not know about Raymond, Alberta. So if you're listening from anywhere in the world, if you've ever heard of what a stampede is like a rodeo party.
Yeah.
You know, bull riding,
chuck
rope a
wagons.
calf, chuck wagons. And again, I don't know really how I feel about all that, but it's okay. It's a thing. If it's your thing. But the very first one ever started in Raymond. Raymond is home of the Stampede. So, but the bigger city outside Lethbridge, Calgary, gets the credit because that's the Calgary Stampede.
biggest.
You can basically
Except
go
that
globally.
everyone knows it's not the Calgary Stampede that was first. They're just the biggest.
They're
Yeah.
just the
And
biggest.
it's
They're
all
the biggest.
fake cowboys.
Fake cowboys?
Fake cowboys.
But they do have a gay camp out.
They do. And I'm actually, Kilowatt's actually going out for the
No.
drag brunch and
No.
stuff. Not performing or anything,
Okay.
but
You're gonna
going and attending. And
Oh, I want to go.
I'm going to shake up those RuPaul queens a bit and
Yeah.
just be like, hey, we're here.
Drag monarchs are here.
Yeah, so,
I like that.
Yeah.
Do you know when the Calgary stamp?
It started, I think, or it's starting this week, one of the two.
Well, anyway, it's a
Later
camp
this
out and
week?
it's back,
Yeah.
and it was. I've always heard they do sometimes costume themes like superhero camp out and stuff. And I love that stuff. I actually copied it and did inspired by, and had a superhero summer party after that. So
Love it.
yeah. So I went and saw Penny's house. Chris, I went and picked up. Tell me what you did. What's your tradition for Raymond?
I always go to friends' houses for barbecues that I don't see throughout the year and catch
Don't-
up with them and stuff.
I think you
so-
called it another word.
Or-
What do you do? You crash their barbecue.
Crash their barbecue because I'm not formally invited, but it's happened every year, so
It becomes your
so It
tradition.
just becomes a tradition.
See, they just know you're coming already, so you don't
exactly.
even invite
You don't-
And when I
your
don't
family
come,
at that
yeah,
point,
exactly.
right?
It's people I grew up with, so
Yeah.
That's nice.
it's expected. So,
You moved out of Raymond and went to Okotoks, but now
Yeah.
do you find you're always welcome back with open arms?
certain people in Raymond.
I mean, we went to my
Yeah.
cousin Penny's house and everyone's like knowing you and hi, I haven't seen you in 20 years. And you're like, who are these people? Raymond's actually quite very friendly.
Yes, it's very friendly.
After the parade, I want to mention a very nice police officer came up to us and said, just he's really proud of the work that we do, and he works on the reserve, and he said he's really proud of Lethbridge Pride Fest, and he knows me through social media, and I showed his son my action figure collection once, so he was pretty happy about that. But he's always just really proud of the work we're doing, and it was a really warm reception. There wasn't even a hint of animosity signing up for the parade
No.
or weirdness at all.
There was a bit in the sidelines and stuff.
Do you see a little bit?
Yeah, and stuff. But I mean, that was just so minute, like
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Like you're always going to have the haters, but it's not like you could tell that they were there really.
Right. You couldn't because everyone else is screaming.
Exactly.
And then you throw them candy.
Exactly.
And then they get more sugar and they scream some more because they're probably
They're so
sugar high. So yeah, it was just like a full day.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm glad you both came on the show with me today.
Yeah.
We're not done. We have another topic for you. So I'm going to let Chris kind of lead this conversation for us. And we found out, was it today it was announced? Or soon, recently?
January 23rd.
Okay, so this was from January 23rd. But since we're celebrating Canada, we're going to tell you why Canada is
Ranked number one in quality of life.
Okay,
So,
so-
yeah, it was a U.S. university that did the study,
Yeah.
and for quality of life, Canada got number one.
So that means this Canada, you have the best quality of life
Yeah.
in the whole planet. I
Exactly.
mean, that's pretty amazing. We
Yeah.
love you. Like,
Exactly.
we don't have much to complain about. We complain.
Well, and there's certain people who have a better quality over others still
Exactly.
and social
Yeah.
issues that we still have to deal with,
Yeah.
right? But I mean,
Exactly.
overall, at least we're headed in the right
And
direction.
they had different indicators that they asked questions about.
Okay, great.
And so some of the other ones are like overall, so Canada didn't even make the overall top 10.
Like overall
Yeah.
best country?
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't make the top 10?
No.
Okay, what about?
To start a business, we didn't make that
So
either.
quality life was number one.
Yeah.
To start a business,
We didn't make it.
who's the best overall country?
The overall country was Switzerland.
Switzerland, you always win.
Switzerland and Norway and
Yeah.
stuff, and Denmark, I think.
I think
usually.
Japan is number 2.
And Canada made number 3 in the overall. So
Okay.
that's not
Yeah,
too
that's
bad.
not too bad.
Number 3, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually
Switzerland?
think I remember seeing that.
Switzerland, Japan, Canada. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so for women, overall, it was Canada made number 3.
Yeah.
So,
So-
best place for women to live in the world?
Sweden, and then Denmark came second.
Yeah.
And Canada's number 3 for women.
Yeah.
Well, let's get you up to number
Well,
one,
we need
Canada.
to get up there, right? We have to keep the competition going.
Yeah, we're competitive. We got to
Yeah.
keep moving these things
Move
forward.
things forward.
Exactly. And for education, United Kingdom came first, and United States came second, and Canada came third.
Yeah, so we're holding a strong 3.
At least a
Exactly.
3.
Strong
So
three.
hang on, United Kingdom was best for education.
Yes.
Does that surprise anyone?
No, I have friends who've been educated over there, and there's like a lot of, I think also they have like reduced costs and barriers into access of their education. And
Yeah.
the way their education system is set up, it's not really surprising because they really help focus and on the different materials and bring in like experts from other areas too. So.
Well, way to go, UK. So you're saying that they actually help you get higher education that gets cheaper or subsidized or
In certain parts and stuff, like because I'm trying to remember all the different countries that are part of the United Kingdom.
right.
Right.
Oh, they
so-
call it. They're saying United,
United.
Kingdom.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. So, because Red-X isn't formal yet.
Right. I see. I don't want to profile, but I would have assumed that Japan would have been like up there for education. So I'm surprised they didn't make the top 3. I'm really shocked. No offense, America, but you made number 2 for education.
Hey, that means they're improving.
Yeah.
Or either that or else we're all going backward
Backwards.
in education.
And
So
it's interesting
hopefully-
because it's a U.S. university that did the study, so
Oh.
I don't know if there's biases there
Well, it depends on what criteria they were looking at as
Yeah,
well.
totally.
right?
and how they, yeah.
Well, and I was gonna say, I always hear that their elementary, junior high, high school education system isn't that fabulous. I know teachers can get underpaid there,
Yeah.
but maybe their higher education, if you can get into those programs or
Elites,
schools,
yeah.
elite, maybe the level of education is
And
very strong.
You wonder if that's what they're talking about. Is
Right.
higher because it doesn't really explain.
Well, and then you have to look at like how the different countries do their education as well, because like even in Canada, province by province differs, and then we have people with different types of learning disabilities and other disabilities that we include in our education system and we bring it across the board. Like we're trying to bring the same level of education to everyone in Canada, right?
Okay.
Whereas other countries don't necessarily do that. There's a bit of discrimination against some of the disabled people and
Yeah.
stuff like that, so they actually get filtered out, so then they can look like they're better, but are they really better overall? Because we're looking at the education of our entire societies, not just
So you wonder
people
how
who
how
are
they're
IQ
asking
smart.
the question
Yeah.
to people.
So you have to wonder what the grading scheme is on
Yeah.
that.
That's
Exactly.
interesting. Okay, sorry, more facts.
Just the last one is for comfortable retirement is New Zealand, Switzerland, and then Australia.
So if you want to retire, you want to retire in New
New
Zealand.
Zealand.
New Zealand.
Actually, New Zealand is doing a lot of immigration too right now.
Are
so,
they?
Yeah. If you're, yeah.
So we
If
could
you're
immigrate and we can
retiring.
go retire there.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
nice. Is that our
That's
top?
our list.
Well, Canada, best overall place to live. Isn't that great? It's where
Best
we are.
quality of life.
Best quality. Best quality
I
of
will
life.
take best quality of life.
I think that's nice. That's really what else do you need if your
Right.
life isn't of quality?
Right.
Now again,
Exactly.
we understand. We want to acknowledge all the people who don't have the equality, but
Yeah.
we're trying to get there. We have a lot of like great
We're working on
systems
it. There's
though.
a lot of amazing grassroots groups and organizations and people that are really driving that and pushing it forward. Like, I mean, we hit our hurdles, we hit our walls and stuff like that, especially politically, especially
Mm-hmm.
in Alberta and Ontario currently. You know who I'm talking about.
We know, you know.
Uh,
But it is nice that we have like one of the best things about Canada. If you're listening and aren't from Canada, is we do have universal health care.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean,
Mhm.
yes, you might not get your hip repaired tomorrow, but if you're in a car accident and your leg's broken, it gets fixed
Oh
today.
yeah, when you're a high level risk, you get in and out quickly. My friend just had to do that with her eyes. They got her in and out.
Wow.
And you know you're in a serious condition when they're pushing you through the system like that, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, there like that as well. Healthcare has been under attack lately from funding and whatnot too, but we just continue to persevere with our universal health care and
Yeah.
pushing for better.
Totally. I just actually heard from a nurse client that the morale's pretty low at the hospital right now.
I believe it.
There-
Maybe we need to send some love.
Send
over
some love to
there.
the hospital
Yeah.
because I know it's July 1st. There's probably people acting crazy. So hopefully your ERs are not too crazy tonight and everyone's
Yeah.
driving safe and traveling well.
Yes, call the cabs. The cabs are working. You know, make it worth their while that they're working on Canada Day.
Oh, true.
Right.
True.
So
Yeah, because we'll save healthcare for another day.
yeah.
Um,
So many topics.
So many topics. So Well, so Pride, Lethbridge Pride's officially done. We had a few more events after Pride Fest. We did the wrap-up show last week. So we had to cancel our pool party. So there was no Pride Fest pool party this day. There was thunder and lightning or something.
Yeah, unfortunately, it happened right during the pool time.
Maybe we need an indoor pool. Well, I'd rather be outside if it was nice weather.
Oh yeah, and when it was outside last year, it was amazing.
Right.
Yeah, so we just need to make sure we have an alternative backup plan.
Yeah, go indoor somewhere. Go to the new the center on the west side.
YMCA.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that would be perfect for Pride. Go to
Right?
the YMCA.
Yeah. And then
See, it's spontaneous. There you go.
Right?
Got those moves.
we got them now.
Yeah, those are hard dance moves.
Yeah. And then we had the drink and draw at the Owl Acoustic Lounge, the Pride Edition. So that is something that happens monthly with Slaughterhouse, who organizes that, and they're a local comic drawer.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's great, and it's always a
So
good
much
turnout there,
fun.
and I was there as well.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yay.
So, and you get a chance to go and work on a comics together, or do your own drawing, or do your other crafts that you bring. Like I brought bracelet making supplies because this Pride I was making friendship bracelets of the different colors of the different Pride flags and stuff for people.
Ooh, I should help you make those over the years.
Yeah.
so
Do you like to
have a
make those?
bunch. I've never made them, but
Yeah.
I would love to learn.
Yeah,
Oh.
but I make them.
You said
and
you
then
wanted to do some crafting.
Yeah. And I give them away for
Exactly.
free during Pride because not
Exactly.
everyone can afford to buy
For-
something that represents them, and sometimes they can't find, especially when
Exactly.
you're later on down the rainbow alphabet.
Yeah.
You don't always have the merchandise and stuff made for you. So.
Exactly.
Well, if you see, Stephanie has some pretty epic hair here. I don't know how if you can see it all from there, because any parts of it that are green are actually turning black, like our screen, because it's green screen.
Yes, this is true.
So you're actually missing some of the beautiful colors there. I'm actually drinking a Diet 7-Up, but you
Mine
can't
is hot
see it.
pink,
So you can see yours.
reusable water bottle.
But look, mine doesn't show up because it's green screen.
Oh, this is cool.
I like that yours is reusable.
Yeah.
And I offered her a bottled water. We didn't want to waste plastic. It was there though. So I want to say that while you were getting your hair done, you were sitting there braiding away these bracelets
Yeah.
to give away. So I thought that's really nice of you.
Yeah.
That's a nice little piece of you to share.
Right, and they're made with love, so spread the love.
Oh, I bet those bracelets might have a high frequency. So then we had a very cool, very awesome event. I had to work, I didn't get to go, but you two got to go. So
Yes.
tell me about our last Pride event of the year.
So our last Pride event was the non-binary cabaret called I'm Not That Girl, and the performer, I believe their name was Camille Rogers,
Mhm.
and they identify as non-binary.
Okay.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, but they are like performer,
Opera singer?
opera singer, professional
By
opera
tradition,
singer, by
or-
tradition,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And they originally were in Lethbridge and moved
Yeah.
away for their career, and they were
Yeah.
back in town, so they offered to do this cabaret, and it was great to
Oh,
have a
yes.
non-binary event. So it's really amazing how many different events that we have throughout the month of June in Lethbridge and stuff. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's hard to make it to all of them.
Oh yeah, but this one was amazing, and if we're
What was
able
it?
to
What
have
was it? Like, what happened? What was it? I didn't
So
actually.
it was like a sit-down table atmosphere, right? And Camille had an accompanist on the piano, and they came and they sang a whole bunch of different songs, generally from musical
Yeah.
theater selections. So there was Disney, and like there was Wicked, and Hamilton, and they went all across the gender spectrums
Yeah.
and stuff. And because of where their voices and stuff on the singing scale, they're able to really do that very well.
Yes.
And able
She
to
gets more boy. They get
yeah.
more. Thank you.
You're welcome.
They get more boy parts
Yeah,
Or-
so
Yeah.
they go with
In
the
theater,
in
yeah.
theater and stuff.
because of
so.
her singing voice. So
Their
that was
singing
cool.
voice,
There.
yes. It's all good. We're working on it. We're working on it. So.
That's why we have a non-binary cabaret.
Yeah,
Yes.
because we need to support our non-binary peeps and
Yes.
really get into better non-gendering pronouns and language.
Well,
So-
that's why I decided I was going on the pansexual label is because I don't really look at gender. I'm actually looking at who I'm attracted to, and that doesn't always just mean male or female. It's like, what if they're non-binary? You know,
So is that like a sexual attraction then?
it is.
Okay. No, and that's fair because like so I'm asexual, right?
Right.
So I don't get that.
Right.
So I'm always like, well, is it is it a sexual attraction? So then you are pansexual, or is it like a romantic attraction?
Right.
In which case it would be like panromantic, or
Oh my God.
there's
You
all
thought you
these
had it figured
different
out.
I thought I had it.
things,
Now you
right?
got to look at these other
Well,
options.
okay. Well, I'll just say like
Other-
if I have someone in my life who's not my partner, but I kind of you see them and you like them and you like talking to them and you almost got a crush on them. I'm not looking at gender. I'm just like really excited. Like I have a guy who's like an older gentleman client who's retired and he's a straight man. But when he comes in, we just have these really natural conversations that really are organic and stimulating and exciting. And I look forward to seeing him. So there is that a romantic? Like, oh, he's
Well, that
here. I gotta
might
get him a
even
coffee.
be
We're talking.
sapio.
Well, sapio, what's that?
Sapio is when you're attracted to the intelligence
Oh, okay.
of the person. So.
Well, our intelligences work together, and we
Right.
always have a stimulating conversation. I look
Right.
forward to him going, but I don't want to necessarily be with him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
No, that's kind of where the sapio
I have a
falls in.
question. Can
Yeah.
you be in two of those categories?
You can be in multiple categories,
categories.
right? Because that's the thing is sexual attraction is different than romantic attraction, which is different than poly attraction, which is also different than oh my gosh, I'm blanking on
That's
that
all right.
word. What's the friendship thing where it's just
plus,
where
plus,
yeah, see?
it's
Should
when
I
you're
pull up that fact sheet you
yeah.
have?
No, it's when you're just oh, what is that word when you're like
when you're just friends.
You're just friends.
What is
It's
it?
platonic.
Platonic.
Ah.
Platonic attraction.
We can do it.
Thank you. There we go. We'll work through all of that. But words are hard.
So okay,
So,
well
right.
yeah. So I guess just realizing it's the person I'm attracted to,
Yeah.
not always the gender.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's very important.
And yeah, and I guess because we're saying pansexual, bisexual, so I would say that that part could work.
Yeah.
Oh, don't blush out there, anyone like my mother who's probably listening. That's fine. It's fine.
I haven't talked about anything.
No. So, non-binary cabaret, I wish I could have seen it. It sounds like a
Yes.
really amazing performer and really great performance. Another thing we were talking about earlier today, actually, Chris and I, was Pride Fest had ordered last year, what did we call it? A report.
Yes. Inclusive report.
An inclusivity report. So with the inclusivity report, we really tried to listen to the suggestions and have, like you said, a really wide variety and spectrum of events and people acknowledged throughout our Pride Fest. So it's not just gay pride or, like some of these parties that started off with gay pride, which we're Pride Fest, it's like more of a general. And our slogan this year, a little piece of everyone. It really... it's really about everyone, but some of the parties, like in New York, there's like Fire Island, and maybe this year it's different, but it's typically like a lot of like guys and circuit party type thing, and not everyone would feel included in that. So really expanding what Pride is and trying to have a very well-rounded Pride Fest to, bring us all together
And also to have like those events that aren't necessarily just like for extroverts and
Yeah.
stuff too, right? Like we have to
the
the A+ event, we definitely planned around the introverts and social anxiety and stuff. And then the non-binary cabaret was another very chill event. And it's just nice to have those options because we also have people who are noise sensitive and light sensitive. And,
I saw that today.
yeah.
Yes.
And also we had the senior pride, which is also it's a little less like overstimulation. It's like a dinner, it's a chat. It's
Oh yeah,
very
that
nice.
was wonderful. I totally crashed that.
Yeah, you
So
both
senior
did.
I
pride.
had to.
Oh, hang on. To be honest, all three of us crashed
This is
senior
true.
pride.
At different times.
At
Different
times.
times.
Yeah.
We all.
Yep.
But here's the thing. I'm the only one who's like senior pride. Anyone really can go, but it's kind of like for a more mature crowd who doesn't want to hear about your Snapchat.
Yeah.
It's like less, or maybe they do, but it's more of a mellow event. But I'm
And also
actually
to start dealing with some of the senior
problems and issues to come up and
So
talk about.
LGBTQIA.
But I'm the only one old enough to actually be invited to the senior dinner. You two were way too young because it was like 40 plus. So. I
Getting
did.
Only
there.
5
I'm
years
almost
out.
there.
Yeah, that's good.
I just had like a little like I don't want to put you too much on the spot here, Chris, but
Okay.
we're at my cousin Penny's house,
Yeah.
and we have my cousin and Penny, Maisie, and Heidi, and they're all like talking, and then some more guests come, and Penny's wife's there, and she's talking, and then there's dogs barking, and there's kids, and the
It was
noise
5
level.
or 6 conversations
going all
on
at once, and
and
it
I
be-
just was like, I can't. do
I
this
just saw Chris. He
anymore.
just kind
I
of
just
stood
gonna
up,
have to leave.
and he did a few steps backward to the hallway, and
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you okay? He's like, just a little loud. And it was funny because
Yeah.
I could feel that really heightening.
Yeah.
And it was like, and
Exactly.
then I was like, Heidi, come over here. I was trying to get a group photo of me and my cousins so I could get out of Dodge and get to the show. But yeah, when they all started talking, it's interesting how that vibration
Yeah.
goes.
Well, and I also come from a large family, and it's really kind of interesting that, like, I'm used to having several conversations all at once
Right.
and, like, talking over each other and able to follow it all. And, like, to me, that was never an odd thing.
Right.
And then people when I moved away and wasn't always in the large family situations and stuff, right? People were like, why are you always talking over me? And I'm like, I didn't realize I was doing it. And then I
Because this is how you were raised.
yeah, and like that was the only way you could get all the information communicated in a
Yeah.
timely manner,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah, it's different life skills.
Yes, very much so.
So I'm just gonna like take a quick look. 'Cause I didn't do. Austin usually
Oh, there was
watches.
also games night.
Was there comments?
Oh.
Austin usually. I was wondering if there's any comments
and
on our
Stitch
radio
and
show.
Shine and Glitter Kit Knitters was also in the last week there. So yeah, Lethbridge Pride does not end after the Pride in the Park.
No, it's all year long. There's
Yeah,
always
well,
gonna be
well, there is
events.
other events too, right? But that our Pride Fest is really it's not just after Pride in the Park.
Yeah.
So, as a official board member of Lethbridge Pride Fest, I'm gonna just thank everyone again, all the volunteers, the performers, everyone who came to turn it out, everyone who came out and watched, supported businesses that supported us, all our sponsors. I just really want to thank all of you. And last week's show, I was a little shaken up, so I don't know if that message is. I just really want you to know that we just couldn't do it without you, Lethbridge. We have and Southern Alberta, 'cause people come from Medicine Hat, Calgary, all over to have that event. So now, after such a successful year of just really feeling the love, everything went really nicely and with a great program, and you two aren't official board members. Is there any way that you guys are going to go on a position next year? I'm putting them on the spot.
Maybe. We're gonna leave this as a maybe.
Well, you got a little while to decide, but you took on the ACE event. Want to thank you for that, Chris. Want to thank you for all your support this year and all these years. So
Yeah.
thank you. So yeah, that's going to be coming up. So if you're interested in becoming a Pride board member, we do want some re-recruiting because some of us are going to senior Pride now, and we're not going to be able to do it forever. So
Well, and the more different voices that we get on the Pride board,
Yep.
the more we're going to see. And I think that's something else that people, like, I planned one of the events and I wasn't on the board.
Mhm.
And I think people need to realize that as well, is that if you have an event that you want to do
Mhm.
and have it included
Yeah.
as Lethbridge Pride Fest
Yeah.
and stuff, like, just approach the board. They're more than willing to help support that.
all it does is takes a conversation to spark an idea and a thing, and I mean, hey, we talked about Raymond Pride, and we did it, and next year will be a lot more organized. That was just get one under the belt, and thank you for everyone who supported us in that today too.
Mhm.
So I think, we got a couple minutes left. Is there anything else you want to kind of touch on, Steph? Killa?
Killa. That's all good. We're going back and forth. So, it's a good thing I not need to hide behind my drag and stuff, because like that's a history thing too.
Yeah.
Is you usually didn't out people when they were in drag.
Yeah.
You went by the drag name because it could be very dangerous historically, and in some countries, still in some areas, that if people knew who you were in drag,
Yeah.
They could attack you and
I
stuff.
didn't
so.
realize that was the history.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting, eh? Yeah, I actually
Going
learned
research.
I learned that not that long ago, especially like in America, I think, and in Britain, I think.
Because in Lethbridge, we're pretty bad about that because we all know each other and stuff.
We all
right?
perform together and
We
work
all
together.
perform, so we tend to interchange names and stuff. But yeah, that's a bit of the history because not everyone who performs wants people to know that they do because
I-
they're still in the closet
and-
or it's safety reasons.
And how many times especially before I really knew started performing and stuff, would I see a queen or king out in public, and they're like, "Hi, Levi," and I'm like, "Who's under that hair? Who's under that makeup?" I didn't know who they were, you know, but yet it was someone I knew, and not realize.
Yeah, like some people, it was funny at Lethbridge Pride, just put it together who I was
Right.
in non-drag
Right.
and stuff, because I went to the after party and people were like, "No, you're Kilowatt."
Isn't that fun?
No, and I'm just like, yeah.
I share the same name, Chrissy Cox and Levi Cox. It's kind of an obvious giveaway, and I know that some of my family were like, I don't know, a little bit like well, one of my family's a little weird because I use my real last name. But so then you're like getting those pop-ups, like people you may know on Facebook.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like my uncle's like, oh.
Well, and my drag is very much attached to my company.
Okay.
So Sherlock and Watson Scientific, what I'm hoping to do with my drag, because my drag is, in a way, creating my own drag type, I guess, and
Okay.
that I'm doing science drag.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm hoping to do a kilowatt minute video every so often.
You've shown me some of that.
Yeah, so my drag is going to be out with who I really am
Right.
outside of drag, so I'm okay with being both.
Well, we only have 1 minute of our show before we say goodbye to you, and you head down to the beer gardens at Henderson Lake and watch the fireworks show. Looks like the weather's calmed down a bit, actually.
Not as windy.
So sorry for scaring you at the beginning of this hour, but here's the last topic I just realized we need to talk about. They just announced RuPaul's Drag Race for Canada.
And I wonder if they're going to allow us monarchs and kings in the Canadian
Well,
version.
it hasn't.
No one's been able to say yes or no.
That's interesting, because we know that Duke Carson is already
Duke
geared.
Carson
is,
would be amazing.
is already geared up to go. You know?
And so would
DeVary Best.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh! If you ever have a chance to see them, they're
Yeah.
generally in Calgary,
Yeah.
but you have got to check them out. And then Oliver Twist, who
Yes.
who was down as part of the group last year.
Yeah.
From Troupe Moustache.
Yeah.
They're amazing. They're actually performing at, I think, the Stampede one or something like that. But they're a drag monarch as well. And, like, to me, those are, like, some of the performers I know who I would love to see, because, honestly, they would kill it.
Yeah.
I think they're already better than some of the queens on the other RuPaul shows.
So I do feel like there is room for Ru to expand that. Just like on top, basically, I think RuPaul's Drag Race was really a top model spin-off. It was almost like it was like Ru was playing Tyra but playing herself. And so eventually Top Model did expand into male models, and then even male season, and then even males and females competing at the same time.
But we also need the space for the non-binary and agender people and
so just
trans as well, right?
Well, Drag Race. If you're doing just Drag Race, you're not saying what kind of drag.
No,
you're
they're not.
queen.
So I'm hoping that means that we're actually going to be the fully inclusive.
Ooh,
we would be the first, because I think, is it Thailand or Taiwan that's having their first bio queen?
Okay. Interesting.
You know, so there's...
Well,
it's coming. It's just not on the main one yet.
I'll tell you, I know someone who's going to be campaigning and who's going to be on RuPaul's Next Drag Race Canada, and that is Salem.
Nice.
I don't know. I got a good feeling about this. Salem has the complete package. Salem can sing. The face painting's incredible. And performer is an actual performer, been performing all their life. So I'm going to root for my lady.
I would say there's probably in the Lethbridge area at least 4 to 5 that are ready to go, like, tomorrow.
I would agree, and I would also, I don't want to, like, call out, but the only reason I called that one out was because Salem's my partner, and you're not here tonight, Austin.
Yeah.
So
and the other ones you don't want to put pressure on and stuff, but I would say that.
Well, I don't want to like list the other ones I think would be ready.
Yeah.
But Chrissy's not quite ready. I got to do some. We'll get Austin on, and then I'll get some painting going, a little bit more painting my face, so that we can have like a, when Sahar Davenport was on and then Manila Ali was on. But
and I think too, like there's been some talk too, so maybe keep your ears out if it's something you're interested in. That there's a group of us that really want to put together a drag workshop in Lethbridge.
Yes, well,
so,
we're part of that.
Yeah, and stuff, and like actually like do a 2-day thing and really focus on the different types of drag and help people develop it. And also that it's not just lip singing and performing, like there's children's reading programs and political stuff that you can do instead. So there's been a lot of interest expressed, and people just don't know where to start.
You just might have a dream to be Jessica Rabbit for one night. and we will help that
We'll
come
make
true.
that happen.
So I just also wanted to say the reason I brought up Salem, and then I said Austin is because Austin also hates when I use Austin when Salem is out. That's a pet peeve. So I was like, that's how it made me think about that part of the story. Salem. All right. Well, so nice. You said it twice. All right. Well, anyway, thank you so much. Happy Canada Day, Lethbridge.
Happy Canada Day.
Remember, tune in next week for You Asked For It. We don't even get a day off, not even Canada Day. Thank you to Kilowatt and Chris Rowley for being on the show today.
Yes.
And everyone have a great week and a happy Canada Day.
Bye.